In a tranquil Phoenix home, 31-year-old Paxton Wallace was brutally killed. The alleged killer was her longtime boyfriend, Jeffrey Raale, who called 911 with a chilling claim she was possessed. But this wasn't an isolated break, it was the final, tragic chapter in a history of violence and control that Paxton's family tragically didn't see until it was too late. We go beyond the chilling confession to unpack the legal battle over insanity, the hidden cycle of domestic violence, and the desperate efforts of a woman trying to escape. If you came across this video, please watch till the end, as there are many questions that'll require your opinion. Paxton Wallace was a warm, steady presence in her family's life. She loved her faith, her 2 dogs, and always made time for Sunday breakfast. Her family had welcomed Jeffrey Raale, 47, into their holidays and homes for years, completely unaware of the darkness he concealed. We need to look back, long before the tragic 911 call. May 15, 2021. This date marks a moment where, according to later family statements, Paxton began to see the facade crack. Raale, despite his outwardly charming demeanor, was hiding a deep criminal past, including a felony aggravated assault conviction dating back to 2012. This was a pattern of physical violence the family was only aware of in broad strokes. The family admits that while they knew he had a past, nothing had ever screamed danger in a way that signaled murder. This speaks to the invisible nature of control in domestic abuse, a private hell hidden behind closed doors. The clock runs out on November 7 at 3:40 a.m. Raale calls 911, confessing to the killing and delivering the bizarre defense she was possessed. Why do you think abusers who are outwardly charming are often the most difficult for victims' families to detect? When police arrived at the Phoenix home, they found a chaotic, brutal scene. Raale was still there, holding a hammer and a cross. Paxton was found dead, her injuries so severe as to be unrecognizable. The most damning piece of evidence, a chainsaw in the kitchen, covered in blood, hair, and biological matter. Raale was immediately charged with first-degree murder, held on a $1 million bond. This tells us the prosecution believes they can prove premeditation and deliberation, even at this early stage. Raleigh's defense will undoubtedly lean on the possessed claim to argue for guilty except insane. Bring in the legal expert here and expand his explanation significantly. The defense must prove that at the moment of the act, Raale had a mental disease or defect that prevented him from knowing the act was wrong. The 911 call itself severely undermines the insanity defense. Raale confessed and stated why he did it. The act of calling the police signifies a consciousness of guilt. He knew the act was against the law. If he truly believed he was saving someone from a demon, why involve law enforcement? The multiple artifacts found, the hammer, the cross, and the chainsaw, suggest planning. Pre-staging weapons for an attack cuts directly against the argument of a spur-of-the-moment psychotic break. Expand the legal experts' discussion on the forensic testing and the battle of the experts needed to determine the mental state at the exact moment of the crime. If you were the jury, which piece of evidence would make you most skeptical of the insanity defense, the 911 call, or the presence of the chainsaw? Let us know in the comment section. In the aftermath, Paxton's sister and aunt spoke out, revealing the agonizing truth. Paxton was trying to get out of the relationship. She was seeking help cautiously and quietly, hiding the full scope of her suffering from her family. This highlights the profound difficulty of escaping an abuser. Expand the legal experts' commentary. The victims face a cycle of abuse followed by soothing, the honeymoon phase, which complicates the decision to leave. On top of this, there are often economic impediments and dependency that tie the victim to the abuser. Paxton's Aunt Tiffany made a chilling statement. She was trying to reach out for help. There are shelters. There are places, but there's a wait list. There's a lottery. It's a hope you get in. Dedicated analysis on the lack of community resources. In many jurisdictions, securing a safe bed for a domestic violence survivor is an agonizing lottery, leaving vulnerable people stranded in dangerous situations. While the family's statements about Paxton seeking help are not police evidence, they open the door for the prosecution to conduct a deep investigation into prior acts and the history of abuse. Were there prior calls, prior bruises, or documented PTSD symptoms? This history is crucial to proving motive and challenging the defense's narrative of a sudden break.
Get your hands behind your back now. Let go, I didn't do anything. Stop moving.
What is the biggest barrier a victim faces when trying to leave an abuser, financial dependence, or fear of retaliation? Let us know in the comment. The trial will not just be about whether Jeffrey Raale killed Paxton Wallace. His 911 call answers that. It will be a legal and moral battle between two narratives, the defense's claim of a sudden psychotic break rooted in possession versus the prosecution's case of premeditated lethality rooted in a decade-long pattern of domestic violence. Paxton's family, processing this unthinkable tragedy as they planned a funeral instead of Thanksgiving dinner, established a GoFundMe to cover costs. They described Paxton as incredibly bright, selfless, and beautiful, resilient, and had so many dreams left unfinished. They closed their public statement with a direct and painful accusation. In the end, after years of domestic violence, he took her life. It is unthinkable that someone we let into our home and family could take such a precious person from us. Their resolve is to stand as a family to see that he pays for this crime. You spent 9 minutes with us, dedicating your time to understanding the brutality of this crime and the systemic failures that left Paxton without a safe haven. You committed to hearing about the lack of shelter beds, the legal battle over insanity, and the invisible horror of domestic abuse. But if you're not subscribed, you're missing the final, most crucial step. If you genuinely believe that the story of Paxton Wallace should be a permanent reminder of the dangers of unreported domestic violence and the urgent need for more resources, you must hit that subscribe button now. Don't just witness the tragedy, support the fight for accountability. Subscribe to ensure we can continue to bring these critical legal and human stories to light, pushing for change where the system has failed. Subscribe now and make your commitment to the survivors and victims of domestic abuse.
Stay with me, we're almost there. Clear the path coming through. Watch the debris on the stairs.